What your reaction to the cancellation of Stephen Colbert's show says about you as a resistance fighter. And it's not what you think. And it has a lot to do with PBS. Hey folks, I'm Tad Sturmer. I'm a scholar of resistance history at the University of Southern Denmark and Johns Hopkins. I'm the author of the forthcoming A Resistance History of the United States. So let's get right to this. If your first reaction to Colbert's show ending in 10 months is, this is the regime silencing dissent, then your instincts are in the right place, but we need that vigilance. But we also need some discernment, because this isn't what silencing looks like. Not in an authoritarian regime, and not in the patterns that I study, not in history. When a regime wants to silence you, they don't give you a 10-month paid farewell tour to do it. They shut it down immediately, publicly, and with purpose, so everyone else gets the message too. They get two bangs for their ideological buck. Stephen Colbert hasn't been silenced. He's not going to be silenced. He'll still reach millions, mostly through digital clips, which is how most people consume him anyway, rather than watching the show. He'll get another contract. He'll get another platform. Oh, he'll launch his own. He'll move over to Substack. He'll move over to YouTube. His voice is going to remain. And yes, that voice matters absolutely. Satire, comedy has always mattered when it comes to taking off against a regime as a matter of resistance. And his ability to bring particularly sharp humor to power deserves all kinds of credit. We cannot lose that. But what we might truly lose is his ability to platform others, right? Those voices that don't have the same reach that he has performed such a valuable role in platforming for the rest of us. But that's not where the real attack is, folks. The real attack is the federal funding of PBS, NPR, public media, the NEH, the IMLS, the NEA. That's the context. Colbert's not a part of that. And Project 2025 laid out this plan. Trump issued the executive orders, and this one-party Congress is backing all of those moves, including the recent rescissions package. The appropriations process is about to go up in smoke. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting has been gutted. No more federal support, not now, not next year, not in 3 years, maybe not ever. Not for rural radio, not for local investigative journalism, not for indigenous news, not for trusted programs. That's now, not in 10 months, not letting you go on elsewhere. That's a whole avenue of truth eliminated. That's what silencing dissent actually looks like. Because public media, grounded, honest, unbought, is a threat. Not because it's partisan, not because it's in the tank for the Democrats, but because it tells the truth. And authoritarian regimes, by definition, can't survive truth. Their power depends on fiction. Cultivated, repeated, enforced. That's why resistance history makes this point over and over again. You need parallel institutions that you can rely on to serve your needs. When the system collapses, or, as we're seeing, gets captured, gets compromised, you don't beg for access. You don't continue to beg the regime to get back in the door. You build around it. That's what the committees of correspondence did in the early days of the American Revolution when it was still a resistance. Patriots created their own networks to share reliable intelligence among each other. That's what the abolitionist press did for the anti-slavery movement. They printed and distributed the truth at astonishing personal risk. And that's what the underground press did in Nazi-occupied Europe, when facts had to move in secret, supported by people who knew that a free press is a precondition of any functioning resistance. That's a hell of a legacy. The Colbert issue is a distraction. It is a kind of false flag. And far too many on the left are chasing it yet again. Columnists searching for eyeballs, folks searching for likes on their social media posts. They're just chasing that again. Elevating elite pain, which by definition is limited, while grassroots infrastructure, while the work of the people gets dismantled. You really want to compare Stephen Colbert to PBS? PBS is the real story. NPR is the real loss. Focus here, people. And here's the good news. This is the moment to rebuild it as a truly public institution. The regime cuts the funding, fine. Make it irrelevant. It doesn't serve their needs. It doesn't serve their interests. No, but it serves yours. Give generously. Make up that funding loss. Fund the journalists who can't pivot to TikTok, who can't pivot to Substack. Support the institutions that don't answer to corporate sponsors. Strengthen the platform that resists by informing. Share their stuff on Instagram, share their stuff on TikTok, share their stuff on digital media. Make sure that you're promoting the people who are doing that work. That's resistance history. That's the play. Build an institution they can't touch. Make public media truly, entirely yours. And who knows, Colbert might end up on PBS in 10 months. That would be great. But let him earn that seat alongside the people whose names you'll never know, who need to keep doing the work. They need to keep doing the work for an informed opposition, and they certainly need to keep doing the work for an effective resistance. That's your Resistance Dispatch of the day.